Hi, I'm Hannah Ruiz playing the teacher role.
And this is Tenika Davis playing the parent.
Good afternoon, Miss Fokker. I'm glad you were able to meet with me.
No problem, Miss Dugley.
I wanted to meet with you to go over the standard achievement test your son Gaylord took on April 1st.
Okay, well, what exactly is this test? And also, how did he do?
Well, first, do you mind if I go over what exactly it is?
Sure, of course.
An achievement test is a test that shows us how Gaylord is doing across everything. Not only do we as teachers use achievement tests for assessments, but we also use classroom work and my observations to assess too. The test consists of two separate scores, the norm reference part and the criterion reference part.
Okay.
You seem confused. Let me explain. The first portion of the test is where it says subtest and totals. This is where we compare your son to others in a norm reference group. The second part is where it says content clusters. This is the criterion reference part where Gaylord is given information and we see how he performs on a specific objective. This top information compares your son's test score across test scores to the norm group. Your son actually scored very well.
What does norm mean?
It means your son is compared to students who took the same test in a norm group of other first graders from across the country. So we have a comparison group.
Okay.
To explain the scores, I would like to show you a bell curve. In this bell curve, as you can see, right here is the average. And anywhere to the left is below, and anywhere to the right is above.
So what does this subtest mean here?
Sorry. The subtest is how the test is broken down into different content areas.
Oh, okay, I see. This complete battery here. What does it mean?
The complete battery is just all the test items, but as you can see here under the total mathematics, right here, the number of items is just how many questions there are, and under raw score is how many your son got right. Here your son got 75 out of 107 correct under total mathematics.
I'm guessing that's pretty good.
Yes, very good. In language, he got 41 out of 45 correct. Again, that is pretty good.
I see this PR here. What does it stand for?
Oh, very good question. That actually stands for percentile. Let me show you on a bell curve where it is. Right here. Here you see under percentile equivalent that 50 shows the mean or average. Let's look back at the test results. You see how there's a number across here, science? Well, it shows an 85. This actually means your son scored better than 85 of the students in the norm group. Also here under language, your son scored better than 81% of the norm group.
Oh, wow, that is pretty good.
You have to understand that there is also a standard error of measurement. This is what SEM means. It is the degree of error estimated plus or minus. You see here under percentile bands.
What are these bands and why is there error of measurement?
Great question, Mrs. Fokker. I was just about to explain that. There are percentile bands because this test particularly has a standard error measurement of 4. This means there's an error because sometimes students are hungry, sleepy, or just something is off on the norm results. Not every test is 100% accurate, so the SEM of 4 means it can be plus or minus 4. And right here under next to percentiles is stanines.
What is a stanine?
A stanine is a score based on dividing normal distribution into 9 parts. Let me show you on the bell curve. Right here. The 1 to 3 is considered below average. The 4 to 6 is considered average, and the 7 to 9 is above average. Although you have to understand, Ms. Fokker, these are not always precise. Look here under reading comprehension. Gaylord scored a 6 under problem solving. Gaylord scored a 6, and under problem solving, he scored a 4.
What is a scale score?
Scale score is here on the bell curve. Right here. There is a right here. on the lowest scale score is a 200, and on the highest is an 800. On the bell curve, 500 is considered average, and anything above 500 is above average. As you can see, your child scored 567 in social studies and 548 under listening. Compared to the norm group, your child is average in these areas, which is good. And next to the stanines are the NCE score, which stands for normal curve equivalent. It is labeled right here on the bell curve. Right here on the bell curve, and the average is 50. Your son scored 59 in spelling, which is average.
Oh, okay. So this is good, right?
Yes, of course. Now let's move to the bottom portion of the test. Unlike the norm test above, the criterion reference test tells us how your student is performing on specific standard objectives. Take a brief moment to look over the content area and see if you have any questions about them.
What does sight word mean?
Sight words are words that should be recognized immediately without having to break them up in parts such as the, and, of, or it. Before reviewing these scores, I want to explain the abbreviations. RS is the raw scores, NP is abbreviated for number possible, and NA means number possible your child has scored above average in most areas.
Why was my child checked in the medium column when he scored 6 out of 7 in physical science and 5 out of 6 in government? That's only one wrong.
With those particular scores, there are a minimal amount of questions, and to be considered above average or high, your child would have had to get all of them correct.
Okay.
Gaylord has done extremely well in language, as you can see. Also vocabulary and structural principles and life science scoring above average in each content area. The areas where I see him struggling are in number sense, number facts, and social studies. I have provided some work samples from his portfolio for you to look at, and as you can see, his work is matching these scores. I will keep a close eye on all of his work in these areas and will give him the proper help he needs so he will not fall behind. Do you have any other questions I can answer?
No, I don't think so.
Well, I will send you with some handouts with information and explanations of these test scores that you can keep, and if you have any questions later, you can always call or email me. Thank you, Mrs. Fokker, for your time, and if you have any other concerns that come to mind, my doors are always open. I will be monitoring Gaylord's work in a portfolio and giving him the proper tools he needs to succeed on future tests. We can make this a partnership by having open lines of communication regarding your child's academics. Staying informed about standardized tests and classroom assessments is the key to helping your child.
Thank you.